And that's it. Exactly 120 hours later, I'm exactly where I started. Just with 100 kilometers more on the clock. Let's see how the shoe looks. Hello there, and welcome to the fifth part of 3D printed shoes. Before we get started, I should set goals for a good 3D printed shoe. First of all, it has to be 100% TPU, but the super glue and maybe the lashes, they can be something else, but we'll see, maybe like it just filament. And second, it needs to be comfortable, not like the first versions, and that means I want to wear them. So not like I have to wear them, but I want to wear them. And third, which isn't a problem now, but maybe for the future, it should be printable on an Ender 3 and by everyone. Because of course I could make a design that's very highly complicated and very complicated sliced, but that's not the goal of this project. With that being said, let's start with the design and the slicing. As every time, I started with drawing the outline of my foot. When you do that, it's very important to angle your foot because otherwise the shoe will be too short when you actually walk with it. But you can also take the sole of a shoe that fits you well. Copy it to Fusion 360 and then extrude it down, how high you want the sole to be in the back. I recommend taking 3 centimeters. Then you draw another sketch to cut it so that sole is about 1.5 centimeters in the front. Then you need to take a bigger paper and wrap it around your foot. Then you draw where it touches the ground. And also other important things like cutout for the leg or for the lashes. Copy it to Fusion 360 and add an adhesive surface. Cut it down so it fits in Cura, and then you can change around things there, like changing to 0 wall top and bottom layers and the infill to 10% cubic infill and infill multiplier 3. That's what I choose, and I weighed 65 kilograms and have the foot size 46 or 12 in US and 11.5 in UK. Spoiler, the suspension is good with TPU 95A. Then you can use support blocks to change them to modify overlaps. Add bottom layers and take something like 5. And then you need to print, and it doesn't take long. Just about 32 hours, at least for me. And in the end, it weighs about 220 grams.
Good morning, life. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above.
And after you survived all this printing, the trickiest part is just yet to come. The gluing or melting together of the parts. And yeah, it takes a long time for me. In general, something like half an hour, and it was very hard. As you can see in the coming video, I just melted away some areas of the adhesive surface, and that wasn't perfect. And then I ran out of super glue, so I had to continue melting them together. But yeah, I think maybe super glue is the better option, but it feels like melting holds up better, but maybe that isn't true. For me, what I would do in the future is I would melt the parts together, like the upper part and the sole, and then these two parts with the adhesive surface and gluing them together with the super glue.
Good morning, life. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and in love. Good.
Now it's time to test the shoe. And for that, I'm gonna run and walk 100 kilometers. Let's go.
Good morning, life. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and in love. Good. Good morning, sun. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive in love.
And that's it. Exactly 120 hours later, I'm exactly where I started. Just with 100 kilometers more on the clock. Let's see how the shoe looks. It's still pretty good, just here in the front. I didn't glue that down perfectly, so that didn't hold up from the beginning, because as you can see here, I completely melted it away. But the other parts are very good. Just those parts didn't become cleaner. That was because of the lighter. It turned black, and I couldn't get it off. But despite that, it's pretty good. The sole looks also pretty good. We haven't any damage here, but the sole is making some noises, which I can show you. That has a nice effect because that's tightening itself, this thing here. Maybe I'll have that for the next year too. But then inside here, it's a bit dirty, and also those gluing parts from the lighter, the melting, some parts turned black, and I couldn't get them clean. But yeah, and also what I checked is they are washing machine proof, so you can put them in your washing machine and they get clean, and also they dry in a few minutes. But then we have the sole, and this is pretty dirty, and there are also a few little rocks in the infill or in the profile, and that isn't perfect. And I think for the next one I have a bottom, not just the pure infill, and overall it's pretty dirty. And you can see here over everywhere bit of line separation, which isn't perfect. And that brings us to things to improve for the next version. First of all, I want to cut down on the bottom layer. I think I don't need it, and it's better for the air circulation. And as you can see, the light or the color of the sock doesn't shine through too much, and I think it could also be good for a nice stitch, maybe a black or any other color. And then I want to curve the edges or make the hole for your foot a little bit bigger and curved down. And then I want to remove this wing that I had to have the force more on the sole, because this the wing was connected to the sole, and I hoped that would direct the force more on the sole and not on the glue. But it's very hard to place it the right way and the right place, and so I don't want to have that in the next version too. And then I need to make the adhesive surfaces thicker. Now I had them 2 layers, and then I want to have it 3 layers, so 0.6 millimeters. But now to the important questions. Does it have potential? Will I continue? And for who does it make sense? Let's start with the first question. I think it has a lot of potential. As an example, you can make the best running shoes for you personally, but also like waterproof shoes, just by changing the bottom layers of the upper mesh. And there's so many more things to change. You can change the profile. You can, if you want, you can make the sole 5 centimeters tall, and in the front still just 1. But in this thing, I think it has a huge lot of potential, and I think you know my answer for the next question. I absolutely will continue, and I don't think there will be an end soon, because there isn't an end. It's like fashion, it will ever continue forever, and maybe there will be an end for me, but not for 3D printed shoes. And if I have the first almost perfect version of a shoe that's pretty good and theory is sellable, I will make a tutorial, but till then you have to wait. And yeah, for who doesn't make sense, I think for everyone that has not the typical feet. Like as an example, mine are wide, and it's not very easy as an example for me to find perfect fitting shoes. But also maybe for you, you have some weird kind of feet, then it's maybe good for you to make your own shoes. And if you have your own special style or don't find shoes that you really like, you can just make your own. And despite that, it's just way cheaper. Even in the production, like some branded shoes cost about, I heard, $35 or something in the production, and then they get sold for way more. And my shoe in the production cost about €20, and I don't sell them to me, so that's the end price. And yeah, I hope I could answer your questions, and I see you. Um, if not in the next video, at least in the next shoe video. Bye bye.